Obviously, the answer is yes, to talk about the Jets in the Super Bowl.
It's been too soon from the moment Rodgers started doing this and the team started doing this at the introductory press conference.
Oh my God, can we please just stop with the New York Jets Super Bowl talk, please?
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't...
Alright, it looks like Delvin Cook is the next to get on board with the Jets Super Bowl talk. As you'll hear in this video, them talk about the realistic hopes and chances of the Jets making the Super Bowl has become this whole conversation. I don't know how this became a conversation. I'm not sure why this is a debate, but listen in as Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, and Wiles talk about the Jets and Super Bowl hopes.
But what are you watching? Preseason? We start with another day, another Super Bowl manifestation from the Jets. This time, it's Dalvin Cook. I think it's very realistic, he said. Obviously, you look at the roster, you look at the people we've had, and the things that we already had. That's why I came. And that's why I'm here to help in any way I can to get where we need to go. And that's holding up the trophy. Is it too soon? Obviously, the answer is yes, to talk about the Jets in the Super Bowl.
It's been too soon from the moment Rodgers started doing this and the team started doing this at the introductory press conference. Maybe it would have made sense if this was a one-year deal. If Rodgers was like, I'm playing one year with the Jets and that's it. But it seems like he made it very clear very early, and certainly as of late, that this is not a one-year deal. And this is an very straightforward, almost obvious statement, but it seems like the Jets don't agree with it, which is you should never set up the following scenario where you have the best year your company, your team, your organization has had in more than a decade, and it's a disappointment. And the Jets, there are a half dozen different ways that happens. They go 10-7 and sneak into the playoffs. It's the best year they've had in a decade, and it's a massive disappointment if they lose in round one. They go 11-6 and win a single playoff game. It's one of the three best years they've had in a quarter century, and it's a bit of a disappointment. They go above 500. It's only the second time they've done that in a dozen years. They'll fire the coach. Yeah. So, the idea that they wanted to jump to the end of the book rather than go hey, you know what? We think we're going to be better than we were last year. We think we're going to compete for the division. And hey, with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, get in the tournament. We'll see what happens. But we are building something here. That could have been the messaging. Instead, the messaging has been Lombardi or bust, which makes no sense for the New York Jets.
Well, first of all, I hear you, because New York has gone a bit overboard. New York City and the New York City media talking Super Bowl, but they are not Wiles? They're not the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my God.
They are not. They are talking Super Bowl in New York. Yeah. But if they go 11-6, win a playoff game, if they get to the AFC title game,
that's two playoffs.
I don't get it. Rodgers and the lonely Super Bowl III trophy, Dalvin Cook going on talking about it. I don't know which is more confusing to me. The fact that we're talking about Super Bowl predictions, or more specifically, the realistic hopes of the Jets making the Super Bowl, or I don't want to say anti-Jets, but the backlash and shows that have segments like this that talk about it. I mean, I don't know how many times, and I was just listening to First Things First today, and Nick Wright, I mean, that dude hangs. I mean, literally hangs from the nutsacks of Patrick Mahomes. Like, I have never met a bigger fanboy when it comes to sports than Nick Wright and Patrick Mahomes. And swinging from leg to leg, talking about an undefeated Kansas City Chiefs team. But you act like it's the most unfathomable thought that the Jets could go to a Super Bowl. Do I think the Jets are going to the Super Bowl? No. I mean, at least in 2023. Yes, if this ends up being a 2-3 or 3-5, whatever Aaron Rodgers decides to make this out to be, which is more realistically a 2 to 3 year thing at his age, maybe they make it. 2023, I don't see Super Bowl bound. I had them in my AFC predictions as a wild card behind the Buffalo Bills. Why is it unthinkable for a team that went 7-10 with the 3 worst quarterbacks by ratings in the entire NFL, with a rookie Garrett Wilson, no Dalvin Cook, no Aaron Rodgers? Why is this such a far off thought though? Like, these guys and many other shows and people I've talked to act like it's the most ridiculous thought, the most unthinkable thing that could ever happen, that somehow the addition of Dalvin Cook, year 2 under Garrett Wilson, bringing in Alan Lazard, an opportunity for Aaron Rodgers to finish his legacy with a pretty solid defense. Why is it such an unfathomable thought that they couldn't either win the division? And even though I picked them as a wild card, which that's your other option, I don't think that even as a wild card, they're that far behind the Buffalo Bills. I mean, the Bills have proven year after year after year that there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of talk, but there's not a lot of production there. I mean, what are we, 0-4 in the Super Bowl when it comes to the Buffalo Bills? And I mean, the schedule is very favorable for an opportunity for them to take this division, or even more specifically, take one of the wild card spots. Open up against Buffalo. Do I think they're going to win against Buffalo at home in New York? No. I think that this team's going to need a game or two of actual real game scenario to find their rhythm, to figure themselves out. Next to Dallas. I'm going to talk about Dallas in tomorrow's show, or tomorrow's video. But I think there's a little bit too much hype around the Dallas Cowboys. They've let their fans down for, 3 decades at this point? New England. Ever since Tom Brady's left, the Patriots have been trash. So we're looking at least a 1-2, if not possibly even 2-1 if they go into Dallas and beat the Dallas Cowboys. We just say hypothetically that they lose to the Dallas Cowboys. You're 1-2. Home against Kansas City. I'm not totally convinced that the Kansas City Chiefs, this is an easy game for them. A good defense with the Jets. Good targets for Aaron Rodgers to hit. A solid running game. Aaron Rodgers. But I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to give the Kansas City Chiefs the benefit of the doubt. No, I don't think they're going 21-0. I don't swing from leg to leg or hang from either one of Patrick Mahomes' testicles, but I think that they'll probably pull up this win in New York. Game I'm really more concerned or more intrigued to watch is that Jets into Denver game. Keep my coach out your mouth. I think the Jets go into Denver and win. There's nothing about Denver that says things are that much better, that you're going to be a team that was already better than you, that only improved in the offseason. We're looking at 2-3. Home against Philadelphia. It's no secret. I'm not convinced that Jalen Hurts is going to. I have them winning the division. I probably wouldn't regret that. Dallas could probably end up winning that. I think the Jets take this game. So now we're looking at a 3-3 record right now, going to a bye. You're at New York Giants, but okay, you're home. You're better than the Giants. So now you're 4-3. I think you take the Chargers. I think you take Vegas. No, I don't think you're going to beat Buffalo in Buffalo. I think if these would have been flop, first game in Buffalo, second game in New York, yes, I think you probably split. But no, I think Buffalo ends up taking this one. So now you're looking at a 6-4 record against Miami. Come on. It blows my mind how many people think that Miami is all right. Jets 7-4. Houston, Atlanta, both of them at home. So now you're looking at an 9-4 record at Miami. So now you're looking at a 10-4 record. Washington, 10-4 or 11-4 record. I don't think they beat my Cleveland Browns. By this time, Cleveland has done figured everything. I got them taking the AFC North. So you're looking at 11-5 at New England. That game with the 11-5 record on the table, I think it depends on what the Jets need. If they need a win, home field advantage, whatever the case may be. So you're looking at possibly 12-5 or 11-6, depending on what they need in New England. Easily go 11-5 or 12-5, 11-6. In the playoffs, I have them at least an AFC card, wild card spot. Yes, I feel it's a little premature to talk about it, but I just don't understand why everybody's so up in arms about this. That it is an unfathomable thought with increasing receivers, running back, an upgrade. You went from the three worst, literally the three worst quarterbacks by rating in the entire NFL to a Hall of Fame quarterback. I understand he's 40. But honestly, a quarterback out there in crutches, probably with one arm tied behind his back, probably would have been better than the three you had last year. You add to your running game. I'm not going to say it's far-fetched. I'm not going to say it's a very realistic chance. But I'm not going to say it's far-fetched. Honestly, I think they have just as much of a shot as who I have taken the North, which I have Cleveland taking the North. I think they have just as much a shot, if not more of a shot, than the Cincinnati Bengals, who I have taken the other AFC wildcard spot. They have a better shot than anybody out of the well, no, I'm not going to say everybody out of the West. I don't think they have a better. I think all roads go through Kansas City. You know, that's not me saying all of a sudden I'm hanging from somebody's nuts. I don't say undefeated. I've never met somebody. I swear that you have him on the show, sound like some heads bopping on the damn bottom of the table. South. Jets are better than any team in the South. I don't understand this popularity all of a sudden and talk of MVP and Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. I'm drawing a blank. I want to call him Tracy Lawrence. But better than any team that you got in the AFC South. I don't know. Just blows my mind, this whole conversation, how this has become such a topic that is taking up quarters, if not half of shows, talking about the New York Jets and a very realistic or people just blowing their top talking about the Jets going to the Super Bowl. Let's get through year one. Let's reassess things at least mid-season. Honestly, I think a lot more people are going to be surprised than disappointed. Everybody talks about Aaron Rodgers like he's washed up, done, beyond his time. You ever think about he was just probably done in Green Bay? That he was just tired of being there, tired of the situation, never getting the things the pieces that you need to be a legitimate contender. I mean, you already got a better defense. I think they just talked about the other day, like Aaron Rodgers only had like one top 10, either one top 10 or top 5 defense ever. That was the year they went to the Super Bowl. Outside of that, they've not had great defenses. He's had some receivers. It's been sporadic, not all the time. It's going to be interesting. Make sure that you guys check out the 110 Nation Sports Show Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock, right here on the 110 Nation Sports Radio Network. Going to jump off here. Going to get prepped for the show. Hope we catch you guys there.